Hello, I'm Juan Davies, Chief Creative Officer at KCET and PBS SoCal, and I'm joined by the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. How is everyone today?
Good, thank you.
Doing well.
I want to start with you today, Chava. You've been out covering the city for a while, watching the way people are responding to the shutdown. What have you been noticing lately?
Well, last time I was here, I talked to y'all about how empty Los Angeles was after the stay-at-home orders went into place. But 7 weeks in, it seems like Angelinos are starting to get a bit restless. I spend a significant part of my day in the field, and over the last several days, I started seeing more groups of people walking together, hanging out together at parks, and before this weekend, hanging out at beaches, sometimes even maskless. I've also encountered more people using shopping as an excuse to get out of the house, full parking lots at many grocery stores. Despite the efforts to limit the people inside some of the stores, there's definitely crowding, especially when you're lining up either to pay or to enter the store. I had one individual at one of the stores that I visited tell me that they go to the store several times a week just to browse.
Wow.
It's a really striking contrast from the scenes we saw several weeks ago, where we had nearly empty streets and there was just like this big sense of quiet throughout the city. It definitely feels like people are getting tired of staying home.
Public health officials tell us that the more people are out, the more people are going to get sick. And we've seen the case numbers really bounce up and down here in LA County. And Jackie's got the latest on that.
Yeah, today they bounced up. County officials reported more than 1,600 new confirmed cases. That brings the total to 27,800 cases in LA County. Over 1,300 people have died in LA County from coronavirus. So far, 93% of those who have died had underlying health conditions, and minorities, particularly African Americans and Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders, have much higher death rates. Health officials also pointed out that people with HIV also need to be careful and get in touch with their doctor since they are very immunocompromised as well. As the county, begins to loosen some restrictions and move towards recovery, county health officials will be closely monitoring the mortality and hospitalization rates and tracking demographics. They were quick to point out that the virus hasn't changed, though, since March. So if more people are out and about, we are going to see more cases.
There are some efforts underway to start safely reopening some businesses. And Mariana's been checking in with a child care center that's trying to reopen.
Yeah, that center is called Young Horizons, and it's in Long Beach. They closed in March, and they just reopened for families who are essential workers on Monday. But to do that, they had to make some big changes. Staff wearing white coveralls and those plastic face shields greeted kids at the door and checked their temperatures before they could go inside. These long tables they have, where usually you'd have like 6 or 8 kids. Now there's only 2 chairs at each one of those tables, and there's only 10 kids per room. Everyone over the age of 2 is wearing a mask, including teachers. And these new policies are based on guidelines from the state and county meant to keep people safe. But under these circumstances, there's just no way that this child care center can care for the same number of kids that it did in the past. And as more people start to go back to work, this could be a problem since affordable child care was already in short supply before coronavirus.
Finally today, a story about sea urchin. Turns out some of the best sea urchin anywhere comes from Santa Barbara, and Jacob has been talking to fishermen.
Yeah, so back in March when all the restaurants shut down, the market for Santa Barbara uni sea urchin just shut down around the world. And so those fishermen were left holding their bags of sea urchin. And so they've been reaching out directly to consumers, have had to shift their entire business models. So not to be too much of an advocate, but if you're into really fresh seafood and are interested in possibly eating some fresh local stuff, there are a number of options right now for consumers to reach out directly to fishermen for things that would usually only be available to high-end restaurants.
Just to hear the contradiction in everything that you guys have been reporting, cases are going up, people are going out, right? Like, how do we keep our families safe when people are making other decisions and just risking it?
Staying vigilant. Again, this virus is the same as it was in March, and those public health advisories are the same for a reason. So if you keep following them as much as possible, that's really the best that you can do right now.
Well, thank you all at the KPCC and LAist newsroom, and thank you for tuning in. Keep safe, take care of your family, and we will see you tomorrow.